rated players have silly names like this.
And ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the top left of Belshir Vestige is our Protoss player, Stronghe.
Are we going? Are we going Stronghe or just Strong?
I was going with Stronghe.
Okay.
If you'd like to go with Strong, you go ahead and say Strong.
Anyway, our other player.
And our other player, spawning as the green Protoss, the green Zerg player, it's MrBubbles. I don't think we have had one TK tag yet. MrBubbles with the ACQ.
I wonder if the TK tag actually.
It does exist. I have seen it. It does exist. Strong, looking like he is going for the classic Forge fast expand based on that initial pylon placement. He is also going for a very fast scout, which might mean he wants to throw down a pylon hidden in his opponent's natural, just to see, maybe he can get a cannon rush off on the natural to slow down the Zerg. But he's going to scoot around, see that there is no... Ooh, MrBubbles with the pull. Not used to seeing that out of the high-level players.
That was a huge pull, but Stronghe already had his probe on the mineral walk to the far mineral patch, so it wasn't effective.
And here comes the hatchery dance of death. Let's see how long this takes. Not very long. Looks like Stronghe just ignores it. Says, get me out of here. I'm going to run away.
But now he sees the hatch first, so he can do whatever he wants. Strangely enough, he chooses to go Forge first, even though this map is fairly gigantic.
Well, this is my question. Seeing hatch first over spawning pool first, you can do a Nexus first. It is safe, a much safer way to go, and get your economy going faster, and then do Forge and your gateway, finish your wall, make your cannons. But by doing Forge first, Stronghe might have been thinking, get my probe running away, have the drone hopefully stop chasing me, as most drones would stop chasing you eventually, and cannon the natural. But at this point...
Especially since he sees that there's no Overlord at all for MrBubbles hovering over his natural, so he's not going to see anything if that...
And if you saw very quickly there, it looked like Stronghe was trying to make a small wall with pylons, and he does indeed. He has a... wastes 50 minerals with those.
Never mind.
Never mind.
I think he was thinking that was going to be a full wall, and then seeing the drone just sneak past it was like, well, that's not quite what I wanted.
So the waste of 50 minerals, MrBubbles very smartly just going into a third base. He has seen the natural go down, saw that the wall is fairly weak, a little bit late, well, not late, but earlier than you would expect. So he knows that he's not going to have any aggression coming out of Stronghe anytime soon. And MrBubbles still on the attack against this probe. He's not going to mineral walk away. Does get caught. I think MrBubbles... I think he thought he did a mineral walk, but apparently did not. So now we're going to have to see where we stand. We are... let's check the income. 20 harvesters for our Protoss player, only 18 for our Zerg.
There was a wave of drones that just finished, so... Strangely enough,
21 to 22.
2 gases already in the main for MrBubbles. So...
Speed, 1 queen, 1 drone, an additional gas, and that hatchery being built for MrBubbles. At this point, personally, my favorite Zerg versus Protoss build, or I should say Protoss versus Zerg build, is a possibility to work here. I'm not sure whether or not MrBubbles or Stronghe will try it, but...
I don't think we need to be giving away our strats here. I also don't think that's going to be... I haven't seen it in anybody else's repertoire, so...
It's not a very useful build. It's quite weak, actually. It's very easy to defend against.
It's pretty funny, though.
It is.
So the
fourth gas is going down for Stronghe. What do we have for gas? Still only 2 gas for MrBubbles.
And he's got the pneumatized carapace researching in his natural.
And that is the increased movement speed for Overlords.
Will we see the drop afterwards? Maybe. I guess you need layer tech for that. So We should see a lair before too long, as that seems to set up everything else that he'd want to do.
It's a very interesting build. A couple speedlings just poking out at the wall, but that is a tight wall. Nice cannon placement. There's a zealot on hold position. Protoss is going to go scout. It does have a proxy pylon in the 4th location of the Zerg player, so he can do some warp-ins. And he does have Stargate on the way, so it looks like he's strong. He's going to be going into Stargate tech.
I also hate these Zergling skins. Personal thing.
I personally, this is my thought. Blizzard, you make as many alternate skins as you want. Go ahead. I don't care. However, let me choose what skins I see for everybody. I don't want to see these crazy, ridiculous wingy Zerglings. I hate them. I don't want to see it. If my opponent wants to look at it on his own map, go ahead. But don't make that be my choice. Let me see what I want to see.
So anyway, MrBubbles actually scouted in with an Overlord. He saw the Stargate, and if you pay attention to the Stargate, you can actually look inside it and see what unit is being produced out of the Stargate.
Which right now is nothing.
He should know that the Phoenix was on the way, though.
Yes.
He does not know about these 6 additional gateways, however.
That's actually one thing I'm not really a big fan of the Stargate is it is the only building that shows you what it is building. There is no other building that shows you what is being created as it's being built.
Nexuses do.
Do they have a different animation for probes and mothership core?
Yeah, the mothership core gets a little like spindle of light off the top of it.
Oh, well, so I'm
just
a little
like
bit wrong.
The old mothership used to.
There's a Stronghe with a huge zealot warp in that is going to be seen by MrBubbles here, and MrBubbles bringing in a lot of Zerglings. Not sure if this is the best idea, Zerglings against zealots. Ton of zealots being warped in here. How many?
And he does have that +1 upgrade that's so critical against Zerglings. So
and Strong is up to 7 gateways, so he can warp in a ton of zealots here. Going to easily take down the morphing in Spinecrawler, easily take down the Zerglings and the drones that are here. This 3rd base is not long for this world.
I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but our Protoss has a 30 supply lead already.
So, and he just took down, well, he did just take down a lot of units here. 30 units have been lost, 1,400 resources for MrBubbles versus the only 1 unit lost for Stronghe. So that attack did phenomenal. Stronghe, on the other hand, going into speed banelings, he has flyer attack 1, carapace 1, melee 1, 3 spine crawlers, and is that Hive or is that, yeah, that's got to be Hive.
That's a Hive
right now.
It's nearly finished, and he's got 4 Mutalisks that are killing off that proxy pylon and just doing some scouting. And the Phoenix sees the 4th base right now. I guess Stronghe seeing MrBubbles' 4th base. So our Protoss is really in control right now. He just needs to be able to defend against these Mutalisks, and he actually only has 1 unit that can shoot up, and it's over by the 4th base right now.
And that unit not even necessarily, it's not that it can shoot up, it's that it can't shoot down. Because it's already up, it's shooting straight. Zergling's around trying to do some damage to the 3rd, some pylons. I'm not really going to be able to do too much. There are plenty of zealots to chase these away. But once these Mutalisks, where did the Mutalisks go? Just hanging around the natural, it seems.
MrBubbles just trying to get his drone count back up. I'm not sure that's necessarily helpful. There's 1 Ultralisk as well.
Interesting. I like the play. Ultralisks do fairly well against zealots in numbers. Once you start getting a decent number of Ultralisks, they will tear through zealots like crazy because the zealots are all going to clump up and get attacked, and the splash is just going to do so much damage.
And
on the other hand, though,
Stronghe, not necessarily reading this well. He's gone into 2 Stargate Phoenixes, as sort of the answer. So he's sitting on basically like pure zealot Phoenix. He's got a couple of sentries, but not really too many.
But Ultralists are indeed a mammoth unit, if I remember correctly, which means they can just stomp over force fields.
Massive unit, but
Whatever.
yes.
They're mammoth.
They should have a mammoth skin. I mean,
They should.
If we're going all out.
Make it look like the pillow swine from Pokemon. That would be awesome.
Anyway, attack coming in by Stronghe.
Phoenix easily taking down many of these Mutalisks, bringing in the sentries to attack the spine crawler first, pulling the drones to attack the zealots. Not sure if that's necessarily a good idea. Everything goes down. Now the first Ultralisks are popping, gonna start whopping away at these zealots. It doesn't even look like one Ultralisk is gonna fall to these zealots, microing the damaged one back. Zealots going down. That was a huge win for MrBubbles. Keeps a decent number, only keeps 2 Mutalisks, but MrBubbles' ground army is just so much stronger right now than the ground army is Stronghe. 2 Zealots, 7 Stalkers, 5 Sentries versus 4 Ultralisks and 10 Zerglings. Make that 7, as we do have an attack coming here.
This is kind of rough by MrBubbles. His army got split up over this little chasm, but not going to be punished immediately.
And it's going to depend to see what kind of micro MrBubbles and Stronghe have. MrBubbles not getting the greatest around. A couple of Banelings coming, trying to take out some Stalkers. Stronghe, decent micro with these Stalkers, kiting away, trying to minimize the damage from these Ultralisks, and he is able to hold on to his 3rd base against MrBubbles' attack.
And that was Stronghe's sitting on 2-1-2 upgrades, so he's got that upgrade advantage over these. The Ultralisks are at 2-3 thanks to the carapace thing. I don't know what it's called right now. The Ultralisk carapace upgrade.
Chitinous plating.
Chitinous plating, thank you. But the Zerglings are sitting at 2-1, so all of the gateway units are just, I don't want to say fantastically better, but they've got significantly better upgrades.
And we have a 2-prong assault here. Stalkers trapped by the Zerglings, getting chewed through with these Ultralisks, but at the same time, at the 4th or 3rd, whatever you want to call it, Zealots taking it down, take down all the drones, going to easily take down this hatchery before the rest of MrBubbles' army can get there. But wait, maybe not. A ton of Zerglings coming in. Mutalisks, a couple Mutalisks and Ultra, very close. Oh, that was very close.
We've seen that go either way a pretty large percentage of the time, and that time the hatchery died.
If only
but now
MrBubbles
again
has
this ground army advantage, but now Stronghe's sitting on a couple of banked Void Rays.
Yeah, and those Void Rays will do very good because MrBubbles has really 2 Mutalisks and nothing else that can shoot air units.
So MrBubbles scouts the 4th base, starting to take that down. And that's a big find for him if he can take that out. At least he'll be back on level bases with the Protoss.
And 3 bases to 3 bases. And if MrBubbles wants to, he possibly could push in and take down the 3rd. But with these Void Rays here, he will lose absolutely everything. And MrBubbles just calls it, sees the Void Rays, decides it is better not to fight. Void Rays would just tear through these Ultralisks. But it looks like they're going to let the fight play out.
Yeah, he's already taken down the 3rd, and if he used some of his Banelings to take down the Zealot at the front, he could just push into the natural. They're not killing these Zerglings and Lings fast enough.
And now the Void Rays don't have their prismatic alignment ability left anymore. Planetary Nexus is called down. MrBubbles is trying to take down this cannon to hurt the wall a little bit. He is finally cleaned up. He did save 2 Ultralisks, with the Void Rays not able to finish them off.
But now he's up to 7 Void Rays, 2 more on the way. So it's still a good position for the Protoss. And sending his Phoenix squad across the map just to see what's going on in the base of MrBubbles. Taking down a couple of these Overlords in the front. I think Korn's dying, so I'm taking over And now even picking up the queen at the natural, which will really hamper the amount of larvae available to the Zerg player. So it's always good to grab those. And even microing back against these Mutalisks, the Phoenixes having their way with everything in the base. And if he can't answer the Phoenixes, what answer does he have for Void Rays? Now another Overlord going down. That's a lot of Overlord kills. I don't think we can quite get a number on that at this point in the game. But now microing back away from the Mutalisks. This is always an interesting micro battle, seeing Mutas against Phoenixes. The Phoenixes should always win, theoretically, with perfect micro, but that doesn't always happen. And more Overlords just dying by the bucket full. Even the pneumatized carapace not enough to help them get away.
Okay, I think my throat has settled down and I'm not going to cough anymore. Thank you for taking that play-by-play. Yeah, tons of Overlords down. I'm surprised that MrBubbles isn't supply blocked yet, to be completely honest.
He made quite a few Overlords during that whole process.
And MrBubbles throwing down a bunch of Spore Crawlers at all of his bases, trying to protect himself from the threat of the air army. Finally has Hydralis in production.
This is an interesting, completely non-synergistic unit composition now for MrBubbles. I've never heard anyone try to get to like Muta Hydra Ultralisk. It just doesn't work.
And really, well he's not keeping his Mutalisk back home with the Hydralisk so that the Hydras can just take down the Phoenixes while the Void Rays just come in, snipe the hatchery, and run away. And not gonna had a couple Zealots in there too. MrBubbles just going to remake the hatchery.
But that was really nice by Stronghe. He's like, hey, look at my Phoenixes. They're over here. Don't you want to get them? And then he just sends in the massive army, snipes the base, and leaves. Really well done to get his opponent out of position.
Stronghe's still in a very dominant position right now. His air army is just able to take down the Ultralisk very quick. He's really almost looks like he is completely focused now on air, on Sky Toss, as you will, making 2 Tempests, which would be very nice, especially against the Ultralisk that are still left on the ground army.
And now we're going to have Zealots versus... Oh, no, they're going to walk past each other.
Charge not complete yet for the Zealots, so the Hydralisks are going to be able to do a lot of damage to these Zealots before they get in. But no, the Hydralisk waiting for the Ultralisk to come out, but the Ultra is going to be taken down so quick by the Tempest, and now Void Rays against these Hydras. Not really going to wait. MrBubbles should have stuck to my normal race. Maybe he was off racing, which doesn't make sense, but again, that is it. MrBubbles unable to come up with a victory for Team Kessel, so that gives CT6 an additional victory here. They are now up 4-1 with 4 games left to play. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back as we load in our next game.